Hi, 4th and 5th graders. It's Miss Elliott here to show you the challenge I have for you this week. If you're ready to try something different, especially my kid has never drawn before, I hope you really like your end product. I've been practicing it a few times, so I'm going to show you kind of my practices. And I keep adding to it, which is kind of cool. Today we were going to draw an eye, and I really want to do this because I think it's a great way to show value. We are only showing value using blending and blending and pencil, but actually did a little cross hatching in one of my pictures, and I kind of like it. It looks a little different than what we did on the paper. We are going to try our best. I'm going to show you step by step. I'm going to try to remove my hands a lot so you guys could stop and really look at it. And your end result might look a little different than mine, but as long as you're trying and practicing and using good drawing techniques, and but I want you to focus on the value. So that's that blending. That's going to be really cool. So the first thing you need to do is get your supplies. You're going to need a piece of paper, plain white sheet of paper, and a nice sharpened pencil. We're going to draw it first, but as soon as we're done drawing it, we're going to start blending it. So you need a nice sharpened pencil. Right now, since we're just drawing it, it doesn't have to be that sharp. If you want to wait, because if you have it too sharp, it'll draw the lines too skinny, and it can mess up your paper. You're also going to need a paper towel and some Q-tips, but we don't need that right now. Right now, you just need your pencil and paper. So if you need to pause the video and go get your supplies, and we'll get working. All right, guys, so this is one of my practice ones. I hope you get excited about it. I've been showing it to a lot of people because I always tell you guys I love art so much, but drawing I don't feel is one of my best abilities as an art teacher. So I hope you guys like it, and I hope you're ready for it. Here's another one of my examples that I tried. Okay, so if we see our value is what we're really focused on today. One thing that I want is the eyelashes. Eyelashes are going to be optional because it seems like eyelashes are a tricky part, but if you can add eyelashes to it and make it look amazing, more power to you. We are not drawing the eyebrow or anything, so this is just a crease above the eye, a crease below the eye, and we're going to focus on this eye. Yours can look a little bit different if you want it centered a little bit different, but again, that value is what really pops your art out and it makes you a better artist. Okay, so here we go. Miss Elliott's going to take you step by step. I just realized I had 2 pieces of paper. Okay, guys, ready? So first thing we're going to do, we're going to draw a couple shapes. The first one we're going to do is we're actually going to draw a line. I want you to draw a straight line. And unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to draw nice and light. I'll try to draw a little bit darker, but we should be staying in the value scale really high because we don't want a lot of marks everywhere. So you want to stay very light when you're sketching today, especially like this line. This line's going to be completely erased. So if you draw it really dark, then it's going to be really tough for you to erase it, and you don't want to line straight through your eyeball. If you look at this eyeball, you can't even tell where my line was, but I did a line right straight through it. Same with this one. Can't even tell where it is, okay? All right, now we're going to draw the shape of our eye. Now, you decide how big you want it. I want it to take up most of the paper, though, but if yours is a little bit smaller, I did a half sheet. I want you guys to do a full sheet like my first eye. We're going to do the top. So it's almost like the shape of a football. It's a pointed oval. So you want the bottoms to be pointed, but we're just going to do one at a time. All right, it's going to be open. And I love to turn my paper when I draw. It makes it easier for me. You do not have to turn your paper, but if you feel like you're having trouble making that shape, try turning your paper. If you see, I'm holding it kind of soft today. I'm not really like if I were writing, holding it my pencil very soft today as I'm sketching. All right, so once you're happy with it, if you're not happy, pause my video and try again. Erase it and try again and try again. You want it pretty smooth, and like I said, the tips are going to be pointy. So we're going to do the same shape for the bottom. It's going to be very symmetrical. And the top and bottom to match. Instead of drawing it all at once, this is how you can make sure it's pretty symmetrical by drawing only half. So you guys already have a feel for it. You see, I'm kind of out of the lines there, but that's okay. Whenever I sketch, I usually always do a ton of lines before I figure out which line I like the best. If you're having trouble, I want you to take time. I'm going to give you at least 2 class periods, if not 3. If everybody's working really hard, I don't mind giving that 3rd class period. But this is your last project, so I want it to be really strong before you leave. Spirit for my 5th graders, and Before You Could Become 5th Graders for my 4th graders. All right, guys, I'm gonna pause the video real quick, and then I'm gonna come right back, okay? All right, guys, I'm gonna continue working. Just so you know, the bell has just rung, so could be a small chance that there's gonna be some announcements, but I'm gonna push through, and I'm gonna keep going. All right, so now we are going to draw a crease above the eye, and we'll do the crease below the eye. Again, I'm not doing the eyebrow. You're more than welcome to add the eyebrow if you have some extra room, but I really want you guys focused on the eye and not so much the eyebrow. So we're just doing the eye. So this crease above the eye is just go a little bit above, maybe an inch. And you're just gonna follow the curve of the eye. It's that crease in your eyelid. That's where we're going to do a lot of our shading. All right, and the one below the eye is lighter and not as big. This one's more faint, unless you're older like Miss Elliott and I have a little bit of bags under my eyes. It'll be a little bit darker. All right, guys, so far, there's the beginning of our eye. Our next job is to do our the top of our eye. We're gonna make it actually more of a shape. We're gonna add that little spot over here that collects all that gross eye gunk, but it's very important to our eye. And we're gonna do our bottom of our eye. It's almost like the eyelid where the eye closes. All right, you guys ready? All right, so I'm gonna start with that area over here that is the corner of your eye. It comes out a little. It's almost like a U. And we're gonna do a lot with this piece. So this is just the first start of this piece. So you want just a U shape in the corner of the eye. And we're, like I said, it stands out a lot right now, but we're gonna do a lot more with it. Now the bottom of the eyelid is a little bit bigger than the top one. It's a little bit skinnier, but I'm not gonna go to the corner, so I'm gonna go out just a little bit. And you're just making it wider, so we have the, you know, it's turning into a shape, I guess. So all you're doing is following. Try to make it the same distance all the way across. Until you get to the end. And then you can kind of connect it. That's where it kind of goes off. Kind of starts your eyelashes. This side does not connect though. All right, and then I'm gonna follow the bottom. The bottom's a little bit wider. And it's more curved right here. It's not very pointy. It's more curved. And again, we'll do more with our shading. This is just getting the basic outline of our eyeball. This is going to connect all the way up to the line. All right. This is more pointed on the end. This is more curved. All right. Okay. All right, I hope you're happy with it so far. It's looking really good. Now we're going to do the inside. Now, if you want your eyeball right in the middle, you're more than welcome to do that, or pupil, I should say. I'm going to do mine more towards the top. It is going to come pretty far down here past that middle line. And you're going to want it to make as good as a perfect circle as you can. So here we go. Now, if you want it in the middle, you're going to have your whole circle. Because I'm doing it that it's all the way towards the top of the circle is kind of cut off. Now, it is very hard to draw a perfect circle. So you're just going to try your best. If you see I'm doing little lines at a time, I'm not going for a full circle right now. Little lines at a time. When I get to the top, I'll look at it and see if I like the shape of that circle. All right, if I see it's a little flat over here, so I'm going to go back out a little bit more. Just a little bit. And eventually this line's going to be pretty dark, but we're going to leave it like that. Feel free to stop the video if you need to pause and really make that circle. You really want a good circle here, and you want it pretty big. You don't want it too small. You want to take up a lot of that white of the eye. Feel free to look at your own eyes and see how much your pupil actually takes up. All right, then we're going to do that black circle in the middle. I wish I knew what that was called. Maybe you guys could tell me as you're watching the video. Maybe that's the pupil. I know that's probably is the pupil, because when they dilate your eyes. I've never gotten glasses before. I've never had my eyeballs dilated. But if you need to have your eyeballs dilated, that's the part that gets really big. All right, if you see, it's taken up most of this. This is where the color is going to be. This is the black part. And nice and light, nice and light. This is going to be really dark. We're going to go the darkest we can in that one right there, because it's black in the eye. Then there's always that like white little shine in your eye. So we're going to want to draw an oval. You can make it really big because you're going to want to keep it pure white. So we're going to be shading around it. So when you're happy with it, feel free to, you know, erase those other sketch marks so you could, you know, try to make it as clean as possible. Now it can be more circular, more ovalish. You could always make it smaller. It's a lot easier to make it smaller than it is to make it bigger. So I would make it as big as you want right now. All right, so we've got all our pieces right now. I think I want, I don't know. So sorry guys, I'm just thinking through it. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I think it's time to erase. So we're gonna erase this line. We don't need this line, this guide mark anymore. We've just done most of our drawing. Can you guys believe it? With that little bit, we've done most of our drawing. Most of the rest of this is actually going to be added with value. All right, that's our guide mark. All right, one more thing. I'm going to bring this out a little. All right, kind of comes like straight, so add that. And what I want you to do is start making your lines a little bit darker. Like this part's going to get erased. Sorry, guys. All right, so I'm going to connect everything, and I'm going to make my lines more definite and defined. So I'm just going over my line marks to make it more look like a drawing instead of like a sketch. It's going to go down. Right on the inside. If you see, I'm using actually the side of my pencil, not the tip. I like making that circle more defined. With the pupil, I'm actually not going to do this because in a little bit we're going to make that very dark. But this could make sure you're happy with all your different parts. This actually makes it more start looking like a realistic drawing when you're adding that depth of color. All right, don't forget about that bottom. All right, and you could make sure you erase all the ones. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be adding a lot of shading, so you don't have to erase too good. All right, so I like to do this color part. We're not gonna make a color. We're just gonna make, we're gonna almost use hatching. It looks similar to hatching, but not really. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make lines back and forth. Now, the one thing I thought that made this a little bit easier is, or made it look better, is your lines have to be straight. Straight from the circle to there. You don't want it curved at all. So all I'm doing is going back and forth. All right, and I'm pressing on the tip. If you see, I'm holding my pencil different because I actually want to see my pencil lines. Straight, straight, straight. And as I do a little bit, I turn it so it's straight. All right, guys, I'll be back. All right. Sorry, now I have people in my room if you hear me talking to them. Okay, here we go. So I had to pause the video, so if it moved a little, I'm sorry. But all I'm doing is drawing those lines back and forth from the pupil to the edge of the eye. And you do want to see those lines, and you want to take them as straight as possible from the pupil to the edge. And what's nice is you can go back and redo it. It's not like you have to have it perfect the first time. But I think this makes a really cool effect on the eye. If you need to stop the video and sharpen your pencil a little bit more, you need it more of a pointy tip. I'm going to go all the way to the pupil, all the way to the edge. See, I missed a couple, so I'm going to go back and make sure I go all the way straight. Always turn your paper. All right, now I'm going to fill in the pupil in the middle. Remember, that's going to be the darkest dark, and I think that'll really help make it a little more even around it, so I could fill it in a little bit more. So I'm going to use the side of my pencil. I'm going to push really hard, and I'm going to go all the way around and fill in that circle. So if you see, I'm going all the way around. I am going to end up using Q-tip or paper towel to blend this a little more, because you want it really even. One second, guys. All right, once I filled it in, I'm not going to do any of the blending right now, so I'm just going to fill it in as much as possible, get it really dark, and hopefully you start looking at your eye and being really happy with it. I'm going to go over the top of this, and then I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm going to erase, make sure that's nice and white where that shine is. You can look at it, decide if you want to fill it in a little bit more. That'll be up to you. All right, I'm gonna make this part a little darker. That'll help with the shading, but for right now, I'm gonna make this top of the eyelid darker. We're probably going to darker the at the top. You want that pupil to really stand out, so we're gonna leave that as being the darkest, but you still want it pretty dark. And we're gonna keep adding some layers as we go around it, and it goes all the way, continues up to here. All right, we're gonna make this darker up here too, because we're gonna actually start blending it in the next part. All right, so I'll say we have a little bit. This is actually, let's connect this a little bit more here. All right, and that's connected there. All right, so there we have it so far. All right, I'm gonna stop this video. So this will just be the end of the drawing video, and then we're gonna start shading.